Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
AKAPAD. Welcome back to the show. So here's the deal. A little bit of a personal life update. And we're talking the assessment today, 2024. It's wild to me that this movie's been floating around in the ether for so long, and nobody has discussed this flick. But let's get into that personal note real quick. So I just came back from a guy's trip, spontaneous one. I felt like I was personally, I felt like I was emotionally blackmailed into this trip. I couldn't get out of it. There were a lot of things happening around this trip for me, and yeah, personal things, family things. I felt like it was best for me not to go, and I offered the sacrifice of money I already put up. Didn't even care. Wanted to move on with my day. Couldn't do it. Upon getting back, I got this nasty virus. I'm still battling it, still dealing with it. Just kind of sleeping for 2 straight days trying to get over this thing. So a lot of my output has been dwindling. But through that, I kind of been watching and rewatching the assessment because the ending is so striking and depressing, eye-opening, perfectly science fiction. And a lot of us, we know science fiction through the action subgenre where there's explosions and cool-looking cars and everyone looks like a model. We have a lot of on-screen graphics like holograms and right, a lot of motion graphics when people bring up screens. That's a lot of how we associate ourselves with science fiction. And I think those are great entry points. But I think the assessment is where we graduate to science fiction. It's a lot of Star Trek in here. It's a lot of thought-provoking positioning as of where we are as a people. And what do we do when there's a population collapse? And we want to make sure that the right people breed for different reasons. The assessment has a shocker. It has a truth of truths lined within its dialogue. When we get a revelation at the end, or gotcha, as I like to say, when we hear it, when we see it, it sticks with us. When we get to the final, we get a set of a series of images that just makes us depressed. In all, this movie has hopelessness, and it has it in a variety of ways. We got three characters that we spiral down into. The plot of this movie is we have a couple. They need to be assessed. Elizabeth Olsen, Himash Patel, right? Like two individuals, great, perfect in whatever they're in. They need to have a baby. So a assessor visits them, and the assessment is this is where it gets a little hokey. We have a grown woman who pretends to be a child in various ways to assess if these people will become parents. And that's it. That's the only way you can have a kid. Himash Patel, he plays Aryan. He is somewhat of a genetic manipulator, and he has this lab, and the lab is essentially a furnitureless, like, dark room, and he can manipulate a lot of structure, like genetic structure, But he gets close. He can kind of make a monkey. He can kind of make a baby. That's just what he does. At the end of the movie, he does make a child for himself. Elizabeth Olsen, she ventures off into the real world. And we have Virginia. This is our assessor. Her reality is equally depressing. So we get this triangle of despair in this. But along the way, we're carried in, because of the plot. The plot carries us through the different phases of this assessment, and some of them are obvious, some of them aren't. We have a appearance by Minnie Driver. She's great. She has a great monologue. We find out a little bit more about the state of the world through her character. But there's a lot of questions, and I think that's where we discover the benchmark of what good science fiction is. Do we have questions? Do we want to watch more? So while I was sick, and I still am, but while I was battling all of this stuff, moving through the phases, I had this movie on a few times. I kept putting this movie on just because it's easy to have on, and I just have a lot of questions. This is one of the movies where I just want to know what other people think about it. I just want to talk to people about this movie. I want to know what you know about this flick, what you think. A good thing about this podcast is I get to put it out there and maybe do some good. Because this movie, yet again, I will say, is not getting huge attention. Now, we have Fleur Fortune. This is our French filmmaker. She's been involved with a couple of documentaries. I believe a Travis Scott one, a short film called Dream Thieves. Great title. But this is almost like a young talent, young Hollywood movie. And I hope everyone involved we see more of. I don't know what the rating or the aggregation is for the rating is. But the reception, 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that we care. So it's good. People are leaning towards liking this movie. Budget $8 million. That's amazing. I just think that this is a solid science fiction movie in the vein of true Star Trek. I just think any fan of science fiction would want to watch this movie. I'm happy to bring it to you guys. If you guys need to know, I caught this on Hulu. So go check it out. The Assessment. Full recommendation. Love you guys. Rock and roll.
Okay, that's a wrap.